There's a touch of madness around here.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you've just discovered it, this is part of a library tour. So I'm starting with this because this is a big part of the books that I own. This is my big collection of cartoonist related books. So I have separated the graphic novels. I haven't got nowhere near as many graphic novels, but I've separated that for a separate video. But these are the cartoonist related things. I've actually already done a video about animated cartoons, so if you're interested in that, I've already done a video about the books I've got about that. But this is my cartoonist collection, so I'm just going through them all, showing you what I've got, and it could be something that you can relate to. You might think, oh, I didn't know that existed and that sort of stuff. This is 3 videos. I know it's 3 videos because this is the second time I've done it, so I had to do it again, which is really frustrating. So I know that these books will require 3 videos. So let's crack on. This is the second one. We're going to start with our first appearance of the great Gary Larson. So Far Side collection. I'm pretty sure I've got every Far Side book, but if you watch this and you watch the third part where he'll feature more heavily probably, then you can tell me if I've missed something out. But anyway, Chickens Are Restless. That's one Gary Larson book. The Hound of the Far Side. I've got 2 of those. Cows of Our Planet. He loves cows, doesn't he? Unnatural Selection. Oh, Unnatural Selections. See, that you might not be able to find it in the search if you don't pluralise it. The Curse of Madam C. I might have 2 of them as well. I can't remember. The Valley of the Far Side. Any more just right next to me? No, okay, well, let's do these ones then. This is a random bit from Mark Bryant editing the world's greatest cat cartoons. Sorry, I missed quite an important word out. The world's greatest cat cartoons. See, more cats and dogs. This is one about technology by Martin Honeysett. Again, 1-panel cartoons. That's what I love. I love 1-panel cartoons. There's Punch in the Schoolroom. So another Punch collection. In the previous video there was a few of those. This is Punch in the Schoolroom. There's also this is another charity one. This is for the NSPCC, which is a British charity that does work for children. And this is called The Kids Are Alright. Edited by Tony Husband. It's Tony Husband again. And this is the huge list of people that provided cartoons for this collection, including Bob Monkhouse, the comedian. And there's also Terry Gilliam. Look, I noticed that and I was like, what? Where is it? Terry Gilliam. So that was quite nice to see. There's quite a long list there of people that have provided, or Alexi Sale as well. So yeah. That was a nice find. The Kids Were Alright. And what does your dog do every day? Another dog related one. I tell you, cartoonists love cats and dogs, but especially dogs. But maybe that's because we all love dogs. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Noonaville, The Search for Sanity by Stephen Bolton. This has got a great... Yeah, there it is. I just found it straight away. I love this cartoon. I'm going to show this. I'm not going to spend ages going through each of the cartoons and showing you specific cartoons because obviously that'll take forever, but this one always makes me giggle, and I think about it a lot as well. So this is really cool. Look. Love it. So there we go. Right, let's look at these. We've got some more of the sort of classic sort of cartoonist shape ones here, and more appearances by Gary Larson. Right, here we go. So this is the first appearance by a French cartoonist that I really like, and I spent ages collecting his stuff, and I went to France a few times, managed to find some, and I found some online So I've got French editions of his stuff as well as English editions of his stuff. And there's one I couldn't find that I know I have. I don't know where that's gone, so that might appear, I don't know, at some point. But yeah, there is definitely another one, a big hardback I've got of his stuff. But anyway, he's called Claude Sarah, and this is called Sport. That's the English version. I've got a French version of that as well. That's called Reshoot, which I think is a reference to hospitals. It's really gory. Some of this is really gory. He's quite full on with his humour, actually. I mean, like, that's gross. So, you know, he's definitely someone who was yes, I can't even show that one, it's a bit rude. So the car and men in white coats, and I think that's men in white coats. Yeah, clearly I forgot I had that one when I found that. Still life. I've got quite a lot of his stuff here, look. Stuffing, so that's about food. Yeah. He likes drawing very grotesque versions of people, and he's quite savage, I think, and probably not particularly tolerant man. I would have thought. I don't know. There's a music related one called Musique. And I'm gonna go to the bottom of this pile to go straight to the more of his stuff, because it might be that I can get a lot of the Sarah ones done together. There's DIY, clearly about DIY. That's the French version of the sport one, because you know it's because it says Le Sport rather than just sport. And this is one where he's mocking kids, and it's called Little Angels. I quite like the hardback ones because I don't normally like hardbacks, but for cartoonist stuff I like it because it preserves them better. Right, okay, what else is here? We've got Far Side Observer, more Gary Larson. We've got Night of the Crash Test Dummies, another Gary Larson collection. Wildlife Preserves. If I get anything with it sealed in a package, I'll keep it in the package. Valley of the Far Side. I don't think that's come up yet. Valley of the Far Side, but I think I've got 2 copies. I think that's come up yet. The first Far Side book I have there, The Far Side, and Beyond the Far Side as well. Glasnost. Oh, sorry. Well, okay. I'll move on to. I've got a load of Far Side stuff, but I'll talk about Peraro for a second. So you'll see lots of Peraro books. I buy whatever I can find. He's one of my favourites. Dan Peraro. This is Glasnost Peraro. Bride of the Far Side. In Search of the Far Side. I genuinely think I've got every single one, but you can tell me if there's anything missing. It came from the Far Side. He loves cows, it's got to be said. Hound of the Far Side, which is an awesome cover. But yeah, that might be the duplicate. I think I might have talked about that before. Okay, so now we've got more of these Peraro ones. So I'll just quickly mention, this is the first Peraro one I ever bought, and I absolutely fell in love with his style, the way he draws, and his sense of humour. It's just awesome. So yeah, look at that. I love that one there. So yeah, Peraro, and then that's a kind of a different format, a different edition of the same book, Peraro, the first one, and then 2 Peraro, which is the second one he brought out. More Peraro. Post-modern Peraro. Sumo Peraro. And another one with a different format. I don't know why they're not all like the others, but there we go. Peraro Heroes. So again, Dan Peraro focusing on superheroes for... There we go. Oh, Glasnost Peraro. I must have 2 versions of Glasnost Peraro as well. Thing is, when I have got duplicates, I'm reluctant to get rid of duplicates with the Cartoonist stuff because they're hard to find. And most of the Cartoonist stuff I've found it randomly. So, aside from my all-time favourites, which are rare books, and I'll get to them in the 3rd video, where I've had to buy them specifically, most of these I found them by chance. So there we go. So on to some more of these big ones. So this is another one of the Burke Breathed ones, I think. Yeah, Burke Breathed, look. And that's Billy and the Boinger's bootleg. I love the way he draws. It's a cartoon strip rather than one panel cartoons, but I do like the way he does it. So that's a Burke Breathed book. Okay, now we're on to a big bunch of Calvin and Hobbes books. So Cavern Hops aren't massively famous over here, but you can find them sometimes, and they have got some fame. Nowhere near as famous as Peanuts and Snoopy though. But over in America, I think they're pretty huge. So we'll start off with the smaller one, Cavern Hops. This is just called Cavern and Hops. So there may be some repetition in some of these, I'm not sure. But there's that. And then onto these big ones. There's Treasure Everywhere. I think these are really sweet, these Cavern and Hops books. The days are just packed. And obviously they're just literally strips, comic strips. It's a magical world. And I have mentioned Cavern Hops before in a tag video I've done, where I've talked about how I think I used it to illustrate empathy. The prompt was a book that is empathetic, and I think that's what you get with Cavern Hops. There's such insight into the way children's minds work. So, yeah. Homicidal Psycho Jungle Cat. That's another big collection there. And then one more from that shape is the Cavern and Hobbes 10th anniversary book. And then 2 more that are the same shape format as that first one, and that's Attack of the Deranged Mutant Killer Monster and Revenge of the Babysat. So there we are. That is the pilot was over there. There's 2 Peanuts related books here. So these are kind of little sweet little collections. The Peanuts Guide to Happiness and the Peanuts Guide to Love. I do think they're really cute, but I prefer to get Peanuts books like this. So I've been tempted to get these massive collections you can get now, and I literally almost bought one yesterday, but I prefer these little paperbacks. I don't know what it is, but I think it's because it's how I first discovered them, and I just like the way that they are presented on the page. So I do like Peanuts books, and I want to get more, but I've only got 2 at the moment. That's my cat Rosie. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's trying to tell me something, and it could be that she's saying don't forget the other cartoon collections you've got about cats, because I have got more. You are right, I've got more. I'm going to get to them probably in the 3rd video though, Rosie, all right? So yeah, the Peanuts collections I think are really cool, but that's what I've got at the minute. And I'll leave this video with a mention of something that I'll be looking at in more detail in another video later on. I've done a little preview video already about this. And basically, for the Historathon, I want to talk about how much you can learn about history from cartoonist collections that are about editorial cartoons about history from the time. So it's an interesting kind of offshoot of collecting cartoonist stuff. So I'll show you what I mean. One of the first books I got like that was Mark Bryant's collection, World War II in Cartoons. I've had this for a long time, and it's really interesting. So it's got loads of different cartoons that make comments about what was happening, and some of the leaders and all that kind of stuff, you know. So you know, you definitely get a sense of something, which I'll be talking about more in another video, from these kinds of cartoons. So there's that one. And similarly, the other one like that I've got here, where's that other one? Is the one that's actually edited by Tony Husband, which is Cartoons of World War II. You can probably recognise the Works sticker. I think I tried to get that off, and then it was one of those really bad stickers, so I left it on there. But I've had this for quite a while as well. Cartoons of World War II, edited by Tony Husband. And then there's the Cartoon Century, which is a really good one, because it's all about modern Britain through the eyes of its cartoonist, as it says, but it doesn't just cover the war. And you've got like 1975, you've got 1946. So you got, you know, every year covered, and some comments about the cartoons that were written at the time or drawn at the time with that particular social commentary. So that's quite cool. And more specifically, there's Dr. Seuss's editorial cartoons. So Dr. Seuss drew cartoons that were commenting on the war at the time. And then we can go back further, and there's like Punch books that are Victorian England as seen by Punch. So this is a book that's just about, it's like a collection that just brings together the cartoons that were referencing Victorian England. Oh no, not that were done at the time, because Punch is very old. So that's really cool. I've actually got 4 old big hardback collections that cover a particular period of Punch that haven't got a dust jacket. I can't remember where they are. I think they're under the bed, I'm not sure, but they're also part of this collection as well. And then there's, talking about Punch again, there's a really interesting one here, which is Punch's Chronicle of English History in the Making from 1841 to 1861, Cap and Bell. And again, like I've been saying, I'm going to use these videos to have a look at history through the cartoonists. And then this one, it's a big old one, it's quite a heavy one, called The Cartoon History of Britain. Again, this is, but you've got people like Hogarth being referenced here, Tenniel, Lowe, he's a really important satirist, and Gerald Scarfe even as well, which is kind of interesting. So it goes right up to modern day, presumably, if Gerald Scarfe's involved. So that really smells like an old book. And then I'll finish up with a book that goes even further back in time, and it's definitely a cartoonist thing, but it's a little more popular. It's like an educational thing, I guess, and that's Harry Connick's brother. No, Larry Connick's book about the history of the universe. And again, I quite like the way he draws, so it's all good. But that's where I'll finish it there. So the second video I'll put up, sorry, the third one, the last one, this is the second one. The third one I'll put up will be when I talk about my cartoonist heroes, my favourite people, the people I collect religiously, and I've spent a lot of money on some of those books. So see you in the third part. Hope you enjoyed this. Please comment below on any of these things I've covered. Are you fans of Snoopy? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.
future.